Revving engines, screaming tires, and a whole lot of drama await NASCAR fans as team owner Rick Hendrick releases his fury and lashes out at NASCAR for issuing penalties. Will Hendrick's angry words lead to changes in the sport, or will it all be for nothing? What has the team decided so far? Listen in to NASCAR Zone to find out. But before we dive into that, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. NASCAR punished Hendrick Motorsports for changing air deflector components by losing all of its Phoenix drivers and team's 100 regular season points and 10 playoff points, suspending each of their crew chiefs for 4 races and fining them $100,000. It is the largest aggregate fine imposed on a single entity in NASCAR history. NASCAR has given larger fines for individual breaches, but the combined fine of $400,000 to one entity is the most. Justin Haley of Colleague Racing and his team received the same penalty, according to the Senior Vice President of Competition for NASCAR, Elton Sawyer.
Basically, as we mentioned at Phoenix, this is in uncharted waters. From time to time, we'll capture parts, we'll bring them back. And as we continue to investigate and look at parts and comparing parts, it was obvious to us that these parts had been modified in an area that wasn't approved.
Denny Hamlin was also reprimanded by NASCAR, who docked him 25 points and fined him $50,000 for intentionally wrecking Ross Chastain on the penultimate lap at the Phoenix. After the practice session at Phoenix Raceway, NASCAR took the louvers away from the Hendrick teams. Sawyer refused to get into specifics about what was changed. Alex Bowman falls from 1st to 23rd in the standings as a result of the penalties. William Byron falls from 4th to 29th, and Kyle Larson falls from 5th to 32nd. Chase Elliott, who missed the race in Phoenix due to a fractured leg, is not punished and moves up from 29th to 26th. His replacement, Josh Berry, doesn't get points in the Cup Series. He earns points in the Xfinity Series. But the Hendrick number 9 team, along with the other Hendrick teams, were deducted 100 in the owner's standings. Cliff Daniels, Alan Gustafson, Rudy Fugle, and Blake Harris each received a suspension and a fine for their roles as crew chiefs in their respective races. Trent Owens was given a suspension for the Colleague incident. During the 10-race playoffs that NASCAR has, losing 10 points in the playoffs might be detrimental. The playoff drivers' points are reset to the same amount at the start of each of the first 3 rounds, and then their playoff points are added. A driver receives 1 playoff point for winning a stage, 5 playoff points for winning a race, and playoff points for finishing first in the regular season standings on a 15-10-8, 7-6-5-4, 3-2-1 scale, where the regular season points penalty can have a significant impact. Hendrick Motorsports announced last week that it would appeal the penalties, claiming that the louvers they were given did not meet specifications, that there was a lack of clear communication about allowed modifications, and that the penalties are inconsistent with those issued last year, because those penalties were issued for modified parts discovered after the race, not on the first day of the race weekend, as Hendricks were. NASCAR's next-gen car, launched last year, is primarily constructed by teams using components and pieces from a single source. As a result of this, NASCAR warned the teams that they would be subject to hefty fines beginning with the previous year if they modified these parts. Last year, it imposed 3 identical penalties. NASCAR inspected all teams' garage louvers in Phoenix and confiscated Hendrick's. After William Byron's victory in Phoenix on Sunday, Hendrick Motorsports Vice Chairman Jeff Gordon commented on the race by saying,
"Every situation's sort of unique, but this one is a more unique one than I've seen in a while, where there's been a lot of communication back and forth on this particular part, especially for this racetrack, because they did a parity test in the wind tunnel. And so I think it really opened up the door for some miscommunication. And, I don't want to go into any further than that, but, we will continue to just share all the facts and be transparent with NASCAR as we have so far."
Larson won the pole position and Byron won the race, both with the help of louvers received from other Chevrolet teams. All of the Hendrick drivers finished in the top 10 of the standings. It was Byron's second triumph in a row.
We had the pole third. The other two guys, were fast. They just slipped up a little bit, but all 4 cars in the top 10 today. I think that, really solidified, some of the hype and the things that were being focused on Friday, that these guys have speed in the car, and there was nothing, not last week, not this week, that was, getting them to victory lane other than a lot of hard work and great teamwork.
What do you think of Jeff Gordon's statements? Tell us in the comments. Be sure to hit the bell button and subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates. And now, NASCAR has now published the appeal dates for those penalties. The governing body that oversees racing in the Cup Series said on Thursday that the appeal of penalties that were handed down to all 4 of Hendrick Motorsports Cup Series race teams would be heard on Wednesday, March 29. On Friday, NASCAR revealed that the hearing for Kaulig Racing's appeal of the penalty handed down to the number 31 team will take place on Wednesday, April 5, while the hearing for Denny Hamlin's appeal will take place on Thursday, April 6. Section 14.5.4.2.a of the NASCAR Rulebook was the one that was particularly mentioned for the penalties. In a statement that it issued, Hendrick Motorsports announced that it will be appealing the penalties, but that it would not ask for a delay in the suspensions. NASCAR also chose to punish Hamlin for purposely wrecking Ross Chastain on the penultimate lap of the Phoenix race. Hamlin finished 23rd, Chastain 24th. During the overtime session at Phoenix, Hamlin acknowledged on his podcast, titled Actions Detrimental.
Basically, here's the thing, right? Is that I got to the end of the race. I saw he was on the outside of me. I went into turn 1 with the mindset that I'm going to try to get the best finish that I can get. I'm on 2 tires, and I go into turn 1, and while I even went shallow on speed, my car plowed. I mean, what it means is I turned the wheel and the front tires just were going straight. And they were calling the one car on the outside. So at that point, I knew that I was screwed. I was about to go backwards. I had all the 4 tire cars on my ass. They were going to pass me, or more than likely, in the next corner. If they didn't, I mean, I know I had 2 fresh tire cars underneath of me anyway, where I was 4 wide. And I'm like, I'm going straight to the back.
Because he's around you, he's going to get a better run. You're in the middle.
And so at that point, I know that I'm going to my crew chief told me there was 18 cars on the lead lap. And at that point, I said, all right, well, I'm probably live looking at a picture. I'm probably running 6th or 7th. I'm about to get passed by everybody behind me who's on fresh tires. I'm about to finish in the mid-teens. And I said, you're coming with me, buddy.
Really?
I did.
Wow, that's not what I thought.
It wasn't a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake.
Okay.
I unleashed, I let the wheel go, and I said he's coming with me.
After the race, Chastain and Hamlin had a lengthy talk. That appeared to be fairly civil.
I'll be honest with you, the motherfucker is hard to spin. I mean, when he knows it's coming, he is the hardest guy to wreck on the planet. But I just, I wanted to get back to racing, honestly, with him. And I think that that's a lot of the conversation that we had afterwards.
I was going to say, what was the conversation after race? Because it was...
Well, the conversation...
It was a long conversation.
He came up to me, and he says, I guess I deserved it. And I said, yeah, I think so. I'm not going to sit here on this podcast and ever lie to you guys and say, well, this is an accident when it's not. It wasn't an accident. I meant to put him in the fence, but I didn't mean to screw my team in the process, which maybe I should get the DVC. What an idiot for costing my own team, 10 spots more than likely. But at the time when you're seeing red, that's all that really matters, right? Is I saw an opportunity to not involve anyone else. I was about to go to the back, and I wanted to take him with. So we talked, and I think that we are in a better place where I think we're willing to put the past behind us, and I think that we're going to judge each other from this point forward. And I think that's the fairest way to do it. As far as this season is concerned, he got me, and while it didn't cost him, it did cost me at the Clash. It cost both of us here, but that's my execution, right? So that's not his fault. So I just think that we need to just race each other with better respect from this point forward, and that's what I hope to get out of this. And he asked for a truce, I asked for a truce, and let's just see how it goes from here.
That's all for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us in the comments what you think about the video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.